Welcome to the Share Perspective podcast. I'm your host, Frankie Lubin, aka the Real FKG. I'm here with my special guest. Y'all may know her on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. She's a very opinionated lady. Opinions about every viral content that's going on out there. Her name is Clone Tatiana. Welcome, Clone. How you doing?
Good. Hi, guys.
Cool, cool, cool. Why do they call you Clone Tatiana?
So honestly, nobody calls me that. I came up with that.
So you self-proclaim.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we're all reflections of the Creator, God. You allow whatever you want to
Okay.
claim, whatever label you want to use.
Okay.
Like we're all clones of that. So I like the whole clone because we all are the exact same thing as the Creator, just in many different forms.
Got you. Got you.
Mm.
I could jump into the question right off of that, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna let that breathe for a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So she's a clone from God. I
Mhm.
got you. Okay, cool. All right, well we can get straight to it. First question I got for you, man. Just get your perspective. I know you're very opinionated on social media,
Yes.
but I want to know like why do you think the black community can't seem to get along? Like, what is your opinion on that?
So whenever I speak on this perspective, Caucasian people love to call me racist,
Okay,
but it's because we have been separated from our individual truth and placed in their world. And when you're placed in somebody else's world, you're not living in your truth. You're living based off of how they want you to view yourself.
okay,
So if we was able to separate ourselves and live in the way that is truth for us, we could be more conjoined and more balanced.
mm,
But because we have to disrespect ourselves to be accepted by them, we're not able to live in harmony and in alignment in how we need to as Black people.
got you.
Because, you can't raise Black kids how you raise white kids.
Yeah,
But in this world, we have to raise our kids like Caucasian kids, and we see how that comes out. Like they're undisciplined, they don't listen. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think black people we have our own dynamic as a culture. We call it culture.
Hmm.
So I do understand the white because first of all, I'm gonna say this. I'm from the islands. I'm from St.
Hmm.
Lucia, and coming to America, I was about 18 years old. So I came up here with a different mindset, different perspective, and then all
Yeah.
of that. So for me, it was like a brand new environment, brand new world. It's like something I've never really, you see it on the movies and stuff like that. You try to understand it. But I just think that we have our own culture. It just seems that we can't seem to get it right with each other.
Yeah.
Exclude the white people.
Yeah.
We can't seem to get it right with each other. You know what I mean? So I don't know why that is. I have a few pointers on why I think that is, but
Yeah, no, so I get what you're saying. So more deeper into it. So from the perspective of what you're trying to say is I believe it's because of the programming that each individual Black family has.
okay.
Like we're not all raised on the same programming, on the same direction. So like say if we did separate and we all had a rule book on how we should raise our kids, how we should have relationships, how we should have stable family environments, we would be able to do that.
Yeah.
But everybody's all spread it all apart and they're listening to one person, then they listen to another person and that we're always trying to have it together, but it still includes them because the programming is not every time we try to have our own direction,
Mm,
our leaders get killed off.
true.
You know what I'm saying? So like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, like we try to build that guidance book for our people, but it always get killed off. So now our people's trying to find their way and then they start listening to the wrong direction. So if we had one direction that we all came to like in a convention center where you have to follow this. And if you don't,
Yeah.
you get disciplined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. Like we don't have no true direction from one leader or
Okay.
one guidance or one book, you know?
But do you think the white people have a one direction or one leader in a sense? Because you have trailer trash. I'm gonna just be honest. You have trailer trash white folks. You
Yeah.
have middle class white folks, and you have
But
the
I think that is only because they have to allow that in their world to keep us down too. Because if they was all just totally in sync with being rich and wealthy, we would
Mhm.
have even more of a fight on our hands to say, well, why are y'all this or why are y'all that? So now they give us a reason to say, well, no, because we have some white people who are trash too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like the suppression of of the manipulation.
it's like smoke and mirrors in a sense. Like,
Exactly.
I got you.
Like they
Okay,
have to allow some of their people to be held down to keep us down.
okay, okay. Um, well, I see your point in that. So how do you think? So you think we just need one person to direct us? But how do we know if that person is leading us in the right direction or the wrong direction?
So I
Because we
don't
all very opinionated.
Yeah,
Like,
so I don't think it's just one leader, like because there's truth in our religion, which is why I don't believe in religion. I'm just spiritual because there's truth in every single one.
yeah,
And when you listen to all the black people who are knowledgeable, they're all saying the same thing,
okay,
just in different many shapes and forms.
I agree with that.
So it's not that we need a leader. We need to get all of the correct information, put it into one guidance book, and we need to follow that guidance because we're all saying the same thing.
Yeah,
We're all saying like, everything I've learned is from my own meditation stuff. But when I look outside the world, everybody else is still saying the same thing.
yeah,
So I know that what I'm receiving is truth because you're saying it too, and you look just like me, and you're actually doing the right thing.
yeah.
So we don't need a leader. We just need to follow the right information.
Okay,
But when we try to do that, the outside world try to take it away, steal it, and manipulate it.
okay.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Okay, my next question would be, I guess my next question would lead into the first question.
Yeah.
How do we get back to black families and that black family structure? Like,
I keep saying I believe in separation. I generally do until we are mentally stable to live amongst other people.
okay,
Because it's like you raise your kids in a bad environment. At some point you have to remove them from that environment to get them stable, to get them mentally grounded and then
yeah,
bring them back around it when they can handle it. Like you don't show your kids certain things until they're mentally ready or until they're mentally developed. You know what I mean? So but it's hard in this world because we don't run nothing. So
true.
the only way for us to truly do it is to do within our individual family. So make sure you are raising your kid the correct way. Make sure you're putting your kid in the right environments, having the right people around your kids, because we're not going to be able to do it from a collective because we're too spread out apart. So all you can do is from your internal home, and hopefully it'll start to spread out across as your kids have kids, as your grandkids, and we start moving in that direction. That's
Yeah.
the only way I can see that it's happening. Because in this world, our people's too already mentally screwed up.
So pretty much we just need healing. We all
Spiritual
we
healing,
all need to heal to be able to.
and it has to start in your home first.
Okay.
So, like, if you know as a woman, I don't know black women, they hate when I say this, but you should not be having kids if you're not healed. And you should not be starting families if you're not fully healed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, there's things that you can do to protect yourself so you're not creating a family off of pain and trauma. I only have one kid.
But we I'm gonna put it in a sense of we have kids like pretty much like animals have their offspring. We just creating
That's
with
because
no purpose or no intention behind it. We just creating off of a pleasure, maybe one night of fun. We just creating out here.
nobody's moving consciously. Everybody's moving unconsciously.
True.
Everybody's just moving according to what their brain wants and what their brain is feeling and what their brain is directing them to do. Which is why I originally started my channel because I want to help our black people become conscious so we can make more conscious choices and decisions.
Yeah.
Because as white, like all people in America, like we're moving unconsciously, meaning our brains are leading us and we're not leading our brain.
Okay.
So like most people are just having kids because it just happened because they're unconscious.
Yeah.
Because their brain got triggered by somebody and said, "Oh, I like them," and then you're just sitting there listening to your brain. Now you have intercourse. Now you're pregnant. Now your brain wants to think, "Oh, well, what now?" But
Yeah.
you should have been leading your brain. Even if your brain say, "I want them," you should be saying no.
That's a fact.
But people are unconscious.
Okay. So it's essentially everybody's in a matrix. Everybody's I like to say everybody's, you know, especially now we're kind of programmed by the algorithm. Before it was television, radio and all of that. But now it's like your phone.
Pretty much is why I say clones too. It's why my name is clones. Cause like we're all clones, but you have to be a conscious clone or you have to be an unconscious.
Yeah,
And I'm more conscious, as you can see. You know what I mean. So most people are unconscious and they're just shells,
yeah.
meaning you're just going according to what your brain tells you. You're just empty. You have nothing within you because you're not
They
leading
have something within them. It's just
darkness.
the wrong sense of programming.
Yeah,
If you put a phone in front of or iPad in front of a kid, that information they're taking in is programming them, whether you like it or not. The environment they live in is programming them, whether you like it or not.
that's
You
why
know,
with my son, he knows as you watch videos, be aware of the things that the people are saying because that information is going through your head. I tell him that every single day. You
yeah.
can watch whatever you want to watch, but it's about you being conscious of what they're saying.
But I think people get caught up in, you know, the aspect of work,
Mhm,
work-life balance. It's more work than life. It's more work than in family and any of
mhm.
that. By the time they get home, they're too tired to deal with the kids. They just put the phone and stuff in front of them to kind of distract them, so they can go have a little drink or
Mhm.
prepare a meal or whatever the case is for the babies.
Yeah.
And they don't take that time to educate the kids. We leave that up to the schools,
And
which is
that
another
goes
form of programming.
and that goes back to being unconscious. So like when I found out that I was pregnant, I made a conscious choice, say, okay, how do I want to raise this individual? Because he's not mine as the person that's coming through me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So how do I want to raise him? And you have to become conscious for that. Like how am I going to parent him? How am I going to make money to be able to take care of him at the same time and being able to direct him? I'm sorry, I'm not going to be spending 60 hours a week at no corporation that my kid is at home lacking. Like that's not going to benefit him.
yeah,
So I have to shift things around. You might not be able to have all of the material items, but you made that sacrifice when you have a kid. You know what I mean? So, like, I choose to do work that makes it convenient for him, where I can make sure the thing that's going in his brain is what needs to be because he's going to grow up and become a black man.
yeah,
And in this world, if you don't program their brain ahead of time, they're going to bed.
yeah. Dead or in jail. That's a
Exactly.
fact. Um, okay, so with that being said, people will hear that and be like, I don't agree with it or whatever the case is. But a lot of times people like to find the things they agree with a lot of times on social,
Hmm.
especially on social media. They like to find something they agree with. They don't find something they agree with, they'll get in the comments and, you know, just say anything to kind of
When
get
a
that going. Like,
when a person does that, that lets me know that you're unconscious and that your brain is leading you. Because a conscious person will sit there and you'll listen to what the person got to say
mhm,
and try to compromise and see what they're saying from a different perspective. If you only watch things that you agree with, you're only going with what your mind is willing to accept.
oh yeah,
So you're an unconscious person.
true.
So anything that goes against what your brain has already been told ahead of time, you're not willing to hear it. You're unconscious.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to grow and develop if you're only listening to things that you're willing to accept? Learning means you have to
I
like not
think
accept it from the moment, you
I
know?
think it comes from a place of not just not knowing, but challenging your mind to challenge your bias in something is uncomfortable. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So people don't like to be uncomfortable. And you find growth in being uncomfortable. That's how
Hmm.
you grow. You don't grow
Yeah.
being comfortable. You just stay stagnant. You stay in the same kind of spot and everything just kind of loops every year. Just the same type of lifestyle. Um, for me, I grew up early as a kid. I was traveling. I used to come
Hmm.
up here. I was about 10 years old when I first came to America, and it felt like I was in a movie. That was just for like summer vacation, small, couple months here, there, and there, and that it kind of opened my mind. But I've met people that live in the city of Atlanta who've never been outside the city of Atlanta. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's like you find comfort in where you at. you know where you at. You don't see anything outside of that. So your brain will never think. Your brain is programmed to only that surroundings.
See, but you didn't come from America. You came to America. That's
Yeah,
part of it. In America, in the educational system, they teach you only go along with what your brain understands, which puts you in that like in that unconscious seat.
yeah,
So when you leave school, it's like, well, if I don't know it, then that's not true.
true.
America makes you unconscious.
Yeah,
America doesn't want you to be aware and ask questions. In the school system, they teach you this is what it is, and you don't ask questions.
yeah,
You don't question it.
yeah,
That's part of the issue too. Like they don't want you to ask that. So when people grow and they graduate high school and if something comes to them that is not what America has taught them, the uncomfortability pops up, which is the unconscious part of your brain, and it blocks it out. Because anything that your brain does not want to accept, it will make you feel uncomfortable. You don't
yeah,
feel anything. Like those feelings come over you,
yeah,
which goes back to me saying it's your brain. You and your brain are two, y'all not one.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
it's
I did a little bit of therapy. I'm not in therapy now, but I
yeah.
was in therapy for a little bit, and that's one thing my therapist told me. She's like, "Your thoughts are not you." You know what I mean? You whatever you think, you don't have to necessarily act that out. That's just what you think. You know what I'm saying? You could always challenge that by reversing and be like, why am I thinking about that? But a lot of people don't stop to say, why am I thinking about such and such? Why am I, you
Because in
know,
America, they make you think that you're a human when we are legit just energies inside our bodies, and we have organs, and your
yeah,
brain is an organ. But like I said, in the school system, they tell you, well, it's your thoughts. Those are not your thoughts. It's like your brain
yeah,
has a library and it's filled with information from childhood to whenever you start growing. And then when you get grown, when you come up to a situation, it goes in that library and it tells you things.
yeah,
Like you have to become conscious is like you have to disconnect from your mind, and your mind has to realize I'm just the brain and I'm telling you information. Like we're just energies inside our bodies.
yeah.
So half of the people in America, they're making choices based off of what their brain understands when they can go against that
I
at any
got you.
time.
True. I'll give you an example, right? In the islands, we learned about Christopher Columbus. But it was a I don't know how they teach it up here, but when I learned about Christopher Columbus, he seemed like a hero in my eyes. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He looked somebody that went against the grain and was trying to, find new land and just travel the seas to find a new place to live, a new plot of land and say, I know there's something over there. I
Yeah.
mean, he might have been crazy to others, but in his mind, he's like, I know there's something over there. Now, when he came to the islands, and I think he found the islands first, he thought he was in India. They call it the West Indies. So in my mind, I'm like, this guy seems like a hero. But coming up here, you learn that the stuff that he did,
Hmm.
was kind of messed up. So it's like now I have to sit with that knowledge of, okay, I grew up looking at him as a hero, but what if he's not? What if he
Yeah.
was the start of all of this the stuff that Black Americans and the Native Americans went through. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's you having to challenge yourself and be like seeing the two perspective and be like, okay, what's the truth is, okay, he did come over here. You know, maybe he was looking for new places, but what he did behind it was technically wrong.
Yeah.
So it's kind of finding that balance in the two. And a lot of people don't know how to find that balance in the two. Yeah, I grew up learning this, but now I have this knowledge of something else. What do I do with that knowledge? And they can't make that distinction and find a middle ground in that.
And
And
that goes back to what you said about our people at the beginning, like not coming together, is because they're stuck on what they were taught
yeah,
and they're not willing to go against it. Like everything that we was taught as Black American kids was lies. It's all lies, it's all manipulation. But when your brain is taught something from childhood, it's hard for it to go against that information. So now you have to feel like you're going against yourself
yeah,
when where you're not, you're just going against what your brain has been receiving.
yeah,
And that's the thing too with our people. We're built different. So once we know something, we're not going to go against it,
yeah,
which is why our people don't learn and surpass where we are. We just keep going through the same cycles. Nothing new is coming to the planet. Nothing new is growing or developing. It's recycled everything because we're not pushing our brain. We're just saying, okay, if it don't match whatever we believe in, well, then it's just not true.
Yeah.
But everything we was taught is lies, and we all know it's lies. But because your brain wants to feel comfortable and you're not willing to go against your brain, we all just stuck
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. That's something that I had to adjust as I went along, is to always challenge my brain. You know what I'm saying? Because for the my 20s to early 30s, I'm 33 now, but my early 30s, I was smoking weed every day. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like every day, I felt like my body needed it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling myself. I'm like, oh, I need it. It makes me feel good. It makes me, I'm instinctively telling myself I'm better with it than without it. But then health complications and just trying to just make changes in my life and just trying to be a better example for my daughter consciously, like you said. I was like, let me just stop it for a little bit and see how I feel.
Yeah. On
Eh,
my channel, like I'll always say we this or we that. People are like, what do you mean we? It's me and my brain. So
Yeah,
if say if I'm hearing something and I feel like, oh, I don't like that. That's not me saying, that's my brain. So immediately I say, okay, so now I'm really gonna force you to listen to it now
yeah,
because why you don't like it? They ain't even say nothing. You know what I mean? So you have to look at you and your brain as two and not as one because you're not one.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So people like, why you always say we? Because it's we, it's me and my brain.
yeah,
Like, why you don't like what they just said? Why are you feeling angry about it? Why are you feeling like that?
yeah,
Because you have to like your brain is the kid you still, and you're the adult that is responsible for it.
yeah,
Like with the kid, like a baby. You are the parent of their brain. But when they turn 16, 17, now they're in control of their brain.
yeah,
And most people are unconscious. So now they're just falling in line with what their brain is telling them. And they have not been taught how to control their brain and how to listen to their brain,
yeah,
which is why people take drugs, people pop pills, because your brain is angry, your brain is sad, your brain is miserable, and it's making you feel all that. And you think that's you. That's not
yeah.
you.
You
It's
like,
coming
I
over
need a
you.
break from all of this thinking. I need a break,
But
and you
it's
trying to
thinking
unplug.
because
Yeah,
it's yelling at you, I'm not happy.
yeah,
But in this world, we've been taught to live in alignment like that's us, and that's not you. So you
yeah,
need to get out of alignment with that and listen to what your brain is saying. Write it down, journal it, and hear what your brain is saying,
yeah.
and then figure out how to release it. That's the thing.
True, true. Okay, okay. All right. Next question. How would you define success, and has the definition changed over time for you? Has it evolved over time for
Yeah. So growing up, success was like money, cars, having a big house. Now being spiritual and grounded, it's just peace. Like being able to wake up without your brain screaming at you, having something negative to say, being angry for no reason, being able to drive down the road, somebody jump in front of you and your brain not wanted to cuss them out. You know what I
you?
mean?
Yeah,
That is more success to me now. Um, I could really care less about material items now because I feel like when you die, it really doesn't matter. It's like the peace that you get when you walk in your daily life, being able
yeah.
to go to bed, not angry, not sad, not being triggered by anybody on the outside either. That's more success to me.
I would have to agree with that 100% because that drives a lot of, like you said, like just the outside noise. Like somebody cut you off, you ready to cuss them out, you ready to jump out your car, do something drastic that's gonna get you, sometimes a license. Yeah, that split second could change your whole life. You know what I'm saying? And make that moment so long for you, where you sitting behind the cell. Now you thinking about this moment, this 10-second moment that's costing you years of your life. And
Because I know somebody now, oh, he gonna be mad for saying it, but he got life. You know what I mean? So, but it's like being able to disconnect from my brain and being able to have conversations with her, keeping her calm, be like, why does nobody care about what they gotta say about you no more?
yeah,
Like being able to have that peace is like the most biggest blessing. Like you can take all the material. I would keep this thing there.
I would say one thing for me when watching cartoons growing up, there's always that devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder. And there's
Yeah.
always that seesaw balance in your brain, kind of like talking to you, like, hey, do
Mm-hmm.
this, or the other side is like, no, I'll do that. And it's like two sets of egos in a sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that ego is that, like somebody told me once, the ego is the little man inside of you,
Yeah.
trying to show up and get big, you know what I mean? So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when people feel like they get disrespected, they want to show out,
Yeah.
you know. How dare you, disrespect me and stuff like that. So
You gotta understand the brain too, like
yeah,
as a whole. Like your brain has many different parts. There's the part that wants to protect you. It's the part that wants to be happy. It's the part that will get sad about anything that goes against what it believes. Like so, you have to understand your brain
yeah,
as an organ. Just like our kidneys, we know that if we drink water, it flushes out. So, what makes your brain happy? Write all of that down. What makes your brain angry? What
yeah,
makes it irritated? What makes it sad? Like your brain is separate from you, and that's what America does not want people to realize, that your brain is separate from you.
yeah,
And if we all gotten that, we all wouldn't have no issues. Because as soon as somebody say something, but I don't even care.
yeah.
You would not care, but they want you to be triggered. They
Man,
want you to be
I
mad.
seen a video the other day of somebody it was an argument in Burger King or something. I don't know what they was arguing about. I guess it's over a burger.
Hmm.
But the lady behind the counter is like screaming at the customer, and they're going back and forth, and you know insults flying everywhere, and it's like
You know, when people say, "Oh, it was about a burger," but it really wasn't. It was really about that person's brain not being able to handle the
I
situation.
agree with
It was
that.
about the person's brain. They were like, "Well, who do you think you talking to?" So
Yeah.
now it's because your brain felt insulted.
And don't ask if there are people around that amplifies it. You know what I
Yeah, and
mean?
so
Like,
it makes your brain feel more confident, like, "Oh, well, he's laughing at me, so I'm gonna keep going even more."
yeah,
But if you was in control of your brain, you'd be like, "I'm not finna do that." You know what I mean? So only a person who's not in control of their brain gets mad at people outside. I'm gonna be honest. There's probably a bunch of videos of me 'cause I used to do that stuff. I'm gonna be honest. I used to cuss people out, but I didn't like how I felt after.
yeah,
I didn't like how I looked after. I'm like, I didn't like that.
yeah,
So I started to become, okay, why did I do that? It was like, well, I felt it up here and that it came over me. So I'm like, okay, so it's not me, it's something that's happening to me, which led me to my spirituality, which led me to becoming conscious of my brain. Like, oh, so if they say that, it's gonna make my brain mad. And if I don't control her, she's gonna cuss you out.
yeah.
So now I can't let her do that.
So why? Okay, I'm gonna switch a little bit to the you know stuff going on viral lately. The
Hmm.
comedians going at each other. What's like for me? I feel like it's a lot of people not taking accountability and not letting people be who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because for me, I think God gives you free will. If God gives you free will to be and do whatever you want, we in the black community, I don't know about the white community. I'm not
Yeah.
integrated in the white community.
Me
I look
either.
at black people stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we judge each other so hard on certain things that I'm just like, bro, it's not that serious. Like that's their life. That's how they want to move with their life. Like
Yeah.
you have to just take accountability for your actions. If I go and somebody screw me over and I'll be like, man, you should have seen that coming. You should have seen the sign. You should have seen whatever. I'll still take account, even though they did something to me. I'll still take accountability for it. I don't have to go out there and be like, oh well, they did me that, they did me this. Like to me, that's just you're not taking responsibility for your part. Whether your part is just showing up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like if stuff don't go right between us today or tomorrow,
Yeah.
and you turn around and say something, I'll be like, well, it was worth a try. It didn't go well. It is what it is.
But that goes back to your brain. Like most of them are unconscious anyway. So anytime something does not go the way that their brain wants, they want that retaliation. They want that type of solution.
Yeah,
Even with like the Monique situation. I've made my opinions about the Monique situation, but at the same time, they're all unconscious because for you to sit there and say, well, Todd Perry owes me this, that lets you know you're speaking from your brain.
yeah,
Like you're speaking from your emotions. You're speaking from what your brain wants to try to protect.
yeah,
Well, he owes me money. I'm like you. Oh well, I lost the money. Let me move on.
yeah,
But when you're unconscious and you're moving according to what your brain wants retaliation. Your brain's gonna sit there and wait for that money. Your brain's gonna. It's always about your brain, your brain, your brain. Like, and for you to be in that world, which I would never have, I wouldn't be able to. So I don't got time to argue with you over no money. You can have that money. I'm still Monique. I'm gonna go find a different way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because for me, it's like if you don't get along with somebody, that's just it. You just don't get along. Like you don't have to. It's like fitting a square in a circle. Like you don't
Hmm.
have to force that. You know what I'm saying? And trying to force that is like,
But when
what's
you
the
live in
point?
your mind, it does. It will force its way through that door. I'm not forcing my way through nothing. If it don't work, I've always said this on my videos. If it does not work for me, that is a door closed.
Yeah,
That just means God's trying to protect me. But when you're living according to your mind's gonna force its way through the door. It's gonna keep twisting the knob. It's gonna keep yelling and screaming at them. I'm not gonna yell and scream at you.
yeah,
It's just not meant for me.
yeah,
But for you to have material items and money, you have to live in your mind. And you have to force your way through that door. Like they say, oh, I had to force my way. I'm not doing it. I could never be famous. Because the moment you tell me no, I'm like, okay.
but it's like everybody's trying to be right, but they don't realize that they're wrong. To
Hmm.
me, I always say everybody ain't shit. We
Yeah.
all ain't shit.
Yeah.
Somebody on the planet, no matter how good I think I am, somebody on the planet think I'm not shit.
Yeah.
It might be family, it might be friends, it might be whosoever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to somebody, to the next person, you're not shit.
Well, because we all got our own brains, and your brain is there for you. Like it's in your body. It's not here for nobody else.
Exactly.
So the moment that it does not fit what's best for your brain's gonna be defensive.
Yeah.
But I hold my brain back from being defensive because it does not matter to us. Like it's not gonna stop our money.
Yeah.
I might not got the money from you, but God gonna find a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like people have to accept that not everybody's going to accept you and you're not always going to be right because they have their own perspective.
Yeah.
So just because I don't like you, it is because I might be looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's from my perspective. And you might not be wrong at all. It might be me. But that's because I've done the work.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. Because from maybe Tyler Perry's perspective, he's like, yeah, she might be difficult to work with
Yeah.
because
Well, you are because
she's
you're not doing his
demanding all these
way.
things, and then if you don't give it to her, she's gonna go on social media and say, I didn't
That,
get that from
and that
Tyler
is so
Perry, and it's
true.
like, whereas I have other people who are not gonna do all of that. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? They're just happy for the privilege of working with me. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Like even like being a parent, like you might want your kid to do something, but they're their own person too. So
Yeah,
somebody like no. So you could naturally say, "Oh, well, you're being disrespectful," but they're really not.
yeah,
They're just doing what's best for them and what they want to do.
yeah,
So it's always from your own perspective. Like I would say she's being difficult from his perspective because she's not doing what he wants her to do.
yeah,
But from her perspective, you're not doing what she wants to do either. So both of y'all are butting heads because it's both about what y'all brains want.
yeah,
Now, one of y'all could cower, but he's not because he's Tyler Perry.
yeah,
And she's not because she's Monique. So she just arguing her faults. I'm not gonna do it.
yeah. So I would just like to be able to kind of just stop that insults of each other because it's really unnecessary. It's like
Yeah.
to me, I feel like the world is laughing at us when they see that. Just
Hmm.
like we're trying to make a joke out of it on social media, like, oh, some people pick Monique's side, some people pick Tyler Perry's side, some people pick whoever's side. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like people picking sides, and it's like we're all in high school. Everybody's like, ooh, look at this, look at that, and it's like it's so unnecessary. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
And you never see other cultures doing it like whatsoever. They all stick together. You know what
yeah,
I mean? But it comes back to our programming of slavery times where we had to go against each other to be accepted. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So we have to pick a side. That's part of the when I say the programming of our people, which we need to be separated and we need to be saved, we need to deprogram, we need to be done all over again and then
yeah.
come back as a collective to the world. But we can't because we're not in control.
So what do you think we need to like move to Africa or something, or
No, I don't think Black Americans should go to Africa because they'll ruin it. They'll ruin it.
I kind of agree with
You didn't see the so
that.
I remember I don't know this was like a year ago where like people went to Africa for
Yeah,
like a concert
yeah,
and the black girls was complaining about the bathrooms. I'm like, do you not know where you're at?
yeah,
So it's like the mental programming of America.
yeah.
America has programmed our people so bad that we're ignorant.
So
So
it's
we'll
just
go
no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. There's no.
Where it's just gone. Just start from your family. Just start from your kids and focus on your family and building a new compound. That's how rich white people do it. They don't worry about everybody else. They just do it within their families.
Yeah.
They build that trust within their families, and they say this is the programming. If you want to be a part of this family, you have to move like this, and if you don't, you
We
getting
ain't
kicked
we ain't
out.
starting no families. It's single families. It's a single mother raising 3 4 kids, and
But that goes
that's
back
not
to
that to me that's not a family. That's
yeah,
not a family structure. There's no whether it's just a single father or a single mother, like it's still not a family unit because I feel like
yeah,
we need both dynamics.
oh yeah,
Like if I'm raising my daughter, I can't possibly teach her how to be a woman.
yeah.
All I know is how to be a man.
That's how I
You
feel
know what
about
I'm
my
saying? And
son.
it's the same thing with a woman. Like she be like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a mother and a father." I hear that shit all the time, and it's like, bro, like
My mind has too many
there's
emotions as a female to be a man. I could never teach my son that because I'm being honest. My brain gets emotional, spare of a second when he do something wrong, and
yeah,
I'm aware of that, and that goes back to like everybody's gonna like at some point we as women have to make a choice on not having kids until we. But it's hard too because a man can tell us like it's so messed up. I don't know at this point. I don't know. I can't even lie.
it is very messed up.
Honestly, I just think that we all, like every single black person, should be forced to be separated from white people. I do. And we just go into this whole forced deprogramming. I think that is the only solution.
Yeah,
But it's not going to happen because of the way of the world. You know what I mean? So, but with the way that God created, like we all have an individual path also. So we all have to want it as an individual.
yeah.
So it's like something's gonna have to give sooner or later. I don't know what it is, but the only way for us to get there is either to do it as individuals or forcefully.
Okay.
And we're gonna have to, and for us to do it as a collective, we're gonna have to be violent towards other people. And that is never people just march in our community. They don't want to be violent
Well, trust me, they get violent, but
toward each other,
with
but
each
not
other. You know what I'm
but
saying?
not
Like
towards the other side.
they have smoke for everybody except the people that they need to have smoke for,
Yeah.
and that's part of the problem. Because to me, when you do that, it's like looking in the mirror and doing something to somebody that looks like me. Like that
Hmm.
might seem easier because you might get less time versus trying to do it to a white person.
Oh yeah.
You don't get the chair. You don't get lynch or something. And it's like they don't do that at all. So um, I think it's a lot of coward stuff. I think the men are programmed to be something they're not. They think that what a man is actually supposed to be is not. You know what I'm saying? Like grabbing a gun doesn't make you a man. But teenagers think, hey, if I grab a gun, I'll be quicker to be a man. And it's like,
But that goes back to when black women have kids, they be thinking that they can be a man,
yeah,
but they're so focused on work and everything else, you can't do both. When you have kids, you have to tell them what to do, you have to tell them what not to do. Y'all just walking around letting kids do whatever,
I'll
whenever.
go even deeper than just telling them what to do. You gotta tell them
Who to be?
who to be, but also why to be that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like why? I'm not just gonna tell you no. I'm gonna tell you why I'm telling you
Hmm.
no. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we just don't have the time. We don't make the time for that. Like, just
But
no. Just do as I say. Don't.
do as I say and don't, yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
that goes back to slavery too, because the slave masters taught us, you just do what I say.
Yeah,
So then our parents start teaching us based off of the slave masters training. So it's like black people have never really gotten away from that programming. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like they're just honestly the way that black people raise their kids, it is based off of slavery. Like the program is based off of slavery. How
yeah,
we eat is based off of slavery. How we discipline our kids is based off of slavery.
yeah,
Everything is based off of slavery. Black people have never gotten away from the slave mentality. We are still in that slave mentality.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't realize that like I was one of the few kids in my family to start going to desegregated schools. But when I started doing the research, I was one of those people. You know what I mean? I was one of the first people in my family. So it's like we have to realize we ain't that far away from slavery too. That's part of the issue.
Yeah.
That's why our people is where they are. We're not that far away from slavery. Like we're still only 200 years away from, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's still people in Louisiana who still live on the plantations, but they think they're free, but you're still living on the same land that your slave. No, you're not
Yeah.
free. Like, oh well, this Uncle Buck, he's well, you know, he's the grandson. He's cool with me. You're a slave.
Yeah.
Like we're not that far away from slavery.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Do you think the single life is portrayed as a happier lifestyle for women?
Yeah, but it's not. But that only started like I said, it goes back to like black people integrating. It's like when they started making those romance movies with the black people being separated from their couples and things like that. It's like they made it a lovey dovey to be a strong black woman. I am weak. I'm not a strong black woman. You need a man. A man is required for you to be happy and
That
balanced.
verbiage, strong black woman, that's I personally don't like it because it's like I don't think. Not saying women can't be strong. It's like you see sign on that. Yeah, women can be strong. Not saying a woman can't be strong. She's not supposed to be. She's not supposed to assert her strength all the time.
Yeah.
Like for you to be strong all the time, like hell, I don't think men's supposed to be strong all the time. Like for what? You know what I'm saying? Like why
Yeah.
do we have to be that way all the time in the world? Like and it's like as a man you have to be that way, go out in the world and present yourself as a strong black man. And the women have to do the same thing because there's no man around that's gonna take that role of being the strong man. Like I don't expect my wife to have that role of being a strong black woman. People might look at her that way,
Yeah.
but for me, she don't have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she don't have to do that.
But you have to be a strong black man because you have to fit into the white man's world. Like we live in America where let's just be real, it's not fair to black people. So we have to be strong while they can be weak. Like everything they get is from being weak. Like
Yeah.
they're like, there's nothing really strong about it. Like let's be honest. We have to be overly strong because we still have to we're basically slaves, just mentally slaves, like mental slaves.
But what does a strong come from? Is it strong minded? Like is it you having strength in the willpower? Because I find strength in willpower, not being able to smoke,
Mhm.
not being able to do the things that come easy to me, not being able to cuss somebody out when they cut you off. To me, that's strength.
But you also have a relationship with like the creator or however you say it, you know what I mean? So some people who are unconscious and they don't really have that deep relationship, they have to be strong mentally because if they don't, their brain would just cower to whatever happens and they wouldn't have nowhere to go. You know what I mean? So they feel that weakness within them
Yeah,
because they don't have nothing. So when you walk in that Caucasian job and you're not fully connected with the creator, somebody says something, now you have to pull the strength from you because you don't have enough, nothing outside of you that knows, even if I quit this job today, I'm going to be good.
yeah,
But if they don't have that, they're like, well, how am I going to pay my bills? They're like, their brain has all them other questions because they don't have that background foundation in the creator. I'll quit a job today. I don't care how it's gonna get paid. I ain't worried about it.
yeah,
But that's because I truly depend on God and I know for a fact it's gonna work. Now, if you don't have that strong foundation, you don't know that for sure.
yeah.
So your brain's gonna waver.
But yeah, I think a single lifestyle is like destroying marriages because women
But
sometimes
it's
they're
only told to
married and
us. White women get married from straight from college.
exactly.
It's only black households because they don't want strong black families. Like they don't want that. They don't want the black woman being at home and having because they're fearful of black men. So how do you hold down black men is by making the black woman strong. By telling her, oh, you don't need a man. You can go get that same job. You can go get that degree, which is why I believe black men have it harder than black women. And I know they be hating on me when I say that, but y'all do. Let's just be real. Y'all do. Like we can get anything. Now, are we disrespected? Yes. We're like we still get our disrespect, but we have a little bit higher, more respect from Caucasian people. because they don't want black men to be up there, so they
I
put us
think
up
I
there.
think I think our privilege is different, and our disadvantages are different. They don't look the same.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Very strong.
When people say that, it's like, yeah, I kind of agree with the point you're making, but it's like your privilege as a woman is gonna be different from my privilege as a
Yeah. See, I don't
my
know your
a
privileges.
white man privilege is gonna be different from a black man's privilege
Hmm.
versus a white woman. Like it's all different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all have our privileges and our disadvantages at the same time. Like black men are overly sexualized by the whole world.
Yeah.
All the women want us, but don't really want us.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like black women are their privileges are to be heralded by black men. But then at the same time, when the black man gets a little money, he becomes a football player, he go to the white side.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the people that's around him. There's the people that's flocking and that kind of understand how to move the money in a sense. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So he's like, oh, that seems an easier path. And then they start saying, oh, the black women are difficult, which is like total bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the propaganda that they keep spreading. And it pains me to see that all the time. Like, man, you getting this, you say it's because of looks and all of that, but it's just like there's nothing more beautiful than a black woman. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what nobody says. Like, there's just nothing more dark skin, the darkest of the dark, like that essence. I don't know. Like, it screams goddess to me. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
so that just it's a lot of propaganda. It's a lot of just programming, like we said. Like we come back to that programming thing. Like so now you're in the circles of these white people, these white women. Your agent might be white. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we have to break the doors down to be able to get into these rooms. And by the time we get there, they're all with these white women. So it's like,
Yeah.
but like you said, I don't really know what a black woman privilege is,
Yeah.
other than what I'm saying, her maybe saying, "Yeah, I could go to a bar and get some drinks and whatever, whatever."
Yeah.
Versus a black man.
A black woman privileges is if we call a cop on a black man, he'll get arrested 2.45 seconds. We can do anything to a black man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest. We can do anything. We can go get a job faster than a black man. We can get college degrees faster than a black man. Like all of the sustainable things that we need as a family, we can get, but the black man's gonna have to work 10 times harder.
yeah,
And if they don't get it, they get disrespected. But I'm like, well, y'all don't realize they did that on purpose. So we won't have black families. So now you, as a black woman, think that you're better than him when you've only been put in that position because you're being used as a tool.
yeah,
Like you're not getting it because they really like you. They're doing it because they don't want him to have it. And they want you to feel better than him.
yeah,
That's the only reason why.
yeah. It's very systematic to destroy the black family. Like
Yeah.
it's very strategic to do that, and they put a lot of things in place to be able to destroy black
And
families.
it's all mental. Like, if we really think about it, nothing physical is really happening. It's all mental things. It's conversations. It's how you talk to each other. It's how you deal with each other. It's how you're viewing each other. How you feel about each other. As soon as a black man shows a little bit of emotions, black women don't like it. It's a
Yeah,
little bit too softer. It's like black men are not able to be human, but black women, we have to be overly strong. So when you're programmed to be overly strong, you don't want to see no weakness out of your partner.
yeah,
'Cause I'm already being strong, so why are you being weak? Like that's not fair. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's all the mental programming. Like we have to separate.
I agree with that. Yeah, I seen a video that it was this morning. This girl said she wanted a man to open up to her, but the moment he opened up to her, and a few tears rolled down his face, she was like that. She just became so disinterested. Like,
Yeah. And
like
I understand that I used to be like that, but now being conscious, it's like, okay, I understand why. Because our minds be, if I'm being honest, as a black woman, our mind programmed, why is he being weak when I have to be strong?
yeah,
It's like disgusting to a black woman to see that because our brains have been programmed to be so rock hard. And
mhm,
like there is no softness. Because the moment you be soft, you get taken advantage of, you be disrespected. People try to take advantage of you. So I understand it,
yeah,
But sometimes we have to take that risk and just allow it. Because our black men have feelings too.
But I think black women miss and I'm not gonna say they're not strong, but the strength in a black woman is to be able to nurture that king inside of a black man.
Yeah.
And black women have lost that. I'm gonna say they've lost that.
Hmm.
Not everybody, but a lot of them have lost that being able to nurture the king inside of a black man. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to change a black man. Oh, I'm gonna change him, or maybe he might be too soft, but it's like they can't necessarily speak to the king inside of him. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife has done that for me several times
Yeah.
where I might be feeling down. I might be like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna get this contract. I don't know if I'm gonna do this. She'd be like, look at your track record. That's
Yeah.
all she has to say. Look at your track record. Look at all the stuff you've been through. At the time, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about where I'm trying to go. I'm not thinking about what I done did before. But if she don't tell me, hey, reflect on what you did before, look at where you've come, look at how far you've came, they'd be like, man, you're right. I have done all these things. Like,
But so as a woman, you can't be in your head and have that softness. Like that comes from you being in alignment with your energy,
yeah,
being in alignment with your soul, which is you, but you have to be in line with you. But if you're sitting up here, your brain is going off of what has been programmed on how a man is supposed to act, how the man's supposed to go, which goes back to being unconscious. Like as a woman, you can't be in your head to be that type of woman. Meaning like you can't be at work all day because when you get home, you ain't got time for that because your brain's tired, your brain's irritated, your brain's frustrated. So you have to be able to have a soft life to be able to cater to that.
yeah,
Like even if you're working and you got a man, even if I go to work, I can still be soft because he creates an environment for me to be soft in where I can have that energy.
yeah,
So even though like I'm at work, I know I can quit at any moment because my man gonna take care of me. I'm only
yeah,
here by choice. That have the type of energy. But if you are a woman, you're taking care of all the kids and you're working, you're in your head 24/7. So when you get a man, it's coming from here and not here.
yeah.
That's the issue.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I think too as men we have to do a better job of being able to create that space for each other. Like we both have to do better creating a space for each other to be able to get the things we need from each other. I think everybody is trying to is everybody is for self.
Hmm.
A lot of times I hear people talk, I'm just like, based on what you're saying, you're just for self. Like it's nothing based on the communities, nothing based on the families, nothing based on not even for your kids. I don't even think you care about your kids that much.
But that goes, I ain't about to be mad. But that goes back to the black women not raising their boys appropriately. Like I'm being honest, black women raise their daughters to be the man, and when they have boys, they make their boys think about self. Like I'll cater to you, I'll do this. So when you grow up, he's like, no, you can do this for me.
Yeah,
So it goes back to how you parent as a black woman. Even if the man's not there, you are making a choice to be that single parent. So now it's your choice to raise your son appropriately. And if you're doing everything for him, and if you're making him feel like it's all about him, what do you think's gonna happen when he grows up?
yeah,
So it goes back to the parenting too. Like you can't expect him to grow up and be a stable man or a man that cares about women if his mama did everything for him. My baby, no, I'm not doing everything for you. You a
yeah,
grown man. Like you grown up into a man. I'm
yeah,
not I'm not gonna do that for you. Go figure it out. You're a little boy. Go figure it out.
yeah. That's that's a sad reality that we live in where that dynamic is gone and it's like how
Mhm.
do you get that back? You know, I guess it's one family at a time. You really gotta take it one family at a time. And we see a lot of people doing the healing. We see a lot of people talking about therapy and mental illness now and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, at the same length you might see somebody talking about, healing. You have the Kashan rocks and the blue faces going crazy out there and spreading even more propaganda and more ways of people, that might be in the ghetto that might be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't act that way. When they see that, they're like, oh, that's working for them. That's getting them money.
Yeah.
And everything in America to me is based off of money. Everything. I don't care what I don't care what it
Yeah.
is. Churches, I don't care what it is. It's
Yeah.
based off of money. You can't go nowhere and it's not. a dollar amount involved where it's like a transaction being involved
See,
in it.
part of the issue is that in America there's religion, but there's not spirituality. We need spirituality and not religion. Because religion teaches you how to live in alignment with your brain, but
Yeah,
spirituality teaches you how to be true to your energy, which is you and your soul. That's the difference. Like us as Black people, we need to connect more with our spirituality, not with religion. So I'll be honest, the church isn't teaching you nothing. It's just teaching you how to live within your brain. And then it's teaching your brain how to live within the rules and the regulations of the world when we are just spirits inside of bodies. Like everything that the Bible, like there's truth in the Bible. Yes, I know. But it's like the Bible was created for your brain, but you are not your brain.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you're separate from that.
I'm not a big my mom would probably hate this, but I'm not a big, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't really believe in the Bible a whole lot, just
Okay.
because a lot of the stories in there, if they were to happen today, a lot of those people would be called crazy. If
Hmm.
somebody was like, I gotta kill my son because Jesus told, they'd be like, man, you need to go to the nut house. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, if Jesus came back today and was like, oh, I could do these miracles, they were like, you a magician. They'll find ways to clown those same people in the Bible. They'll be clowned today. They'll be
Yeah.
ridiculed. They'll be stoned to death. They'll be shot. They'll be, you know what I'm saying? Like
That's
those
funny
things.
you said that. I had a question about that. Like when people disrespect spiritual people
Mhm.
and they call them witches and demons, but then you go to church, and I'm being honest, and y'all on the first Sunday, y'all drinking wine as a symbol of you drank somebody's blood. Y'all are throwing money on the pulpit for the
Yeah.
preacher. It's all the same thing, just in different
It's just
perspectives.
still a ritual. It's
It's
still a
still
ritual,
it's
but
all the same thing. It's just more acceptable
it's more
because
acceptable because it's widely available. You know what I'm
like,
saying?
what do you
Like
think prayer is? And when I'm meditating, it's the same thing.
same thing.
It's
Yep.
the exact same thing. The
Yep.
only thing is, I'm not, oh, help me, but I'm just sitting in the silence and letting it come without me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Without me. So that's like, people don't realize that everything they're taught is false. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
I'll
false.
share this story. I grew up in the church. I grew up a Catholic. I was
Hmm.
a altar boy. Grew up, watching the priest. Priest would be sleep on the altar, man. He'll give his little sermon and stuff, and then be at the head, and we, there watching him. You know, one of us might be holding a cross, going up the altar. Like we all had our different roles, and we did at the time. I was a young boy. It was about your son's age. Like I did not take that serious at
Hmm.
all. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we was drinking the wine, we was doing all the little mischievous stuff. Like there was structure, but not real structure. We just had access to behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you getting into all kinds of trouble and being able to hide behind the mask of being, oh, I'm an altar boy, I'm a priest, or all that
That's
all that
funny.
kind of stuff is like we would be joking. The priest is on nodding off.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, look at him, we joking, talking, talking shit. Like that's what we did on the altar. We didn't take it that serious. Not till I got up here where I kind of just distanced myself from all type of religion, stopped going to
Hmm.
church, and I got more spiritual over time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I grew up in so family. So my grandfather was a preacher, raised in the church. That's all that I knew, raised in the church. But as you get older, you sit in the pews and you look like, you walk out this church, you about to be smoking cigarettes, you about to be yelling, screaming at my granny, y'all about to be going through y'all thing. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it makes your mind question. And as I look back as my like of my childhood, I was like, God has always made me look at things from a more spiritual perspective because I've always felt like I didn't need church. I could just talk to God in any shape or form.
yeah,
I could just sit here and say, hey, God, send me a sign. God send me a sign. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So church is more about programming your brain to believe it. It's like a cult. People talk mess about all these cults. I don't know that boy's in he's in prison now for creating a cult. I'm
yeah,
like, church is a cult.
yeah,
If you try to desector or deprogram yourself from the church, it's like you're going against, like you feel like you're going to hell when you're not.
yeah,
It's like the way that you feel when you're trying to step away from the church is like, oh, I'm evil. How are you evil when you're not doing nothing wrong?
yeah.
It's a cult. Church
It
is a
is.
cult.
It
Church is a
is.
programming. These churches only care about money. How are you gonna only give me canned goods, but you are a millionaire?
Yeah,
Why can't I have a steak from your
man. They say
pantry?
The Vatican is probably one of the you know most wealthiest places on the planet. Like so, they wanted to solve world hunger and all of that. They could do that. A lot of the rich people could solve a lot of the problems, but it's a lot of greed, man, and money was put here by man,
Hmm.
just like the Bible was put here by man. Like I just look at the Bible as stories that's just telling you stuff that you should believe in. It's like
But
the
that's
most
why
famous book on the planet.
But that's why I really don't believe in having a lot of money because God didn't create it. So I really don't even care to have it as long as I have the things that's helping me stay stable, help me stay aware. I can take care of my kid. God is doing what I need. Anything extra is just to please my emotions. I'm being honest. You know what I mean? Like you have what you need, but your emotions want more because it wants to look a certain way, it wants to feel a certain way,
Yeah,
it wants to be perceived a certain way. So it's not like you don't have what you need. Some people are homeless because they did not have what they wanted to have, so they just let go of everything. But God was providing for you.
I admire the homeless
Stay strong.
to be able to let go of that thing that just like that everybody it's like they unplug themselves almost to a
Totally.
degree. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people look down on the homeless people, and it's like I don't necessarily like. Yeah, some of them are dealing with mental illness and drug abuse and stuff like that. And, lost their homes and stuff. But I've met homeless people that just wanted to be homeless.
But for them to be comfortable eating out of a trash can, laying on the street, not having clean clothes, that takes a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I couldn't do that. My mind is too shallow. I like to be clean. I like to smell good, but that is
same.
also a part of your brain wanting to look a certain way. I can't stink because I don't want you to say nothing about me.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So that is a part of your brain caring. Their brain totally don't care about nothing no more.
But that's the thing. When you homeless, a lot of people ignore you anyway. So it's like
Exactly.
people
What's the
act like they
point?
don't even see you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I don't even want to
So
go over
actually,
there
yeah,
because I know you look like you smell. So I'm not even going to approach you. In that sense.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's a definitely for me. I think they just unplug. A lot of them just unplug.
totally.
It's like, man, I'm done with this society. You know what
And
I'm
they're the
saying?
most
Like,
smartest ones because they know more. Because when you unplug, like your energy is totally clear.
yeah. Yeah, I met a homeless guy. I mean, he had a family that could take him in and take care of him.
Hmm.
He had Jordans, he had all the necessary things, and it's like
I don't want
he
that.
just, he's like I just want to be outside. He
Yeah.
had his tent. He made a little tent, and I mean, he was like an OCD homeless guy. Everything lined up a certain way. Everything you could tell he has sense there, but it's
Yeah.
like I just don't want to be.
A part of the system.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I admire that to a sense. That doesn't mean I want to be homeless, but I admire that.
Yeah. But I really think about it like this too. Like at any moment that we could be homeless, like with the way that the government's working, these people can come and bomb us and we have to be out of our homes scrounging up for food. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like at any moment it could happen. So I'm trying to be comfortable with that thought process because you might not always have a home though.
I'm gonna say this right. Everybody focuses on money. People will destroy a relationship over money, right? But it's like if you have that relationship, whether you have money or not, a lot of times that relationship is saved.
Mm-hmm.
That friendship is saved. You know what I'm saying? Like I met people where we barter services.
Yeah.
Ain't no money involved. You good at something, I'm good at this. Let's barter.
Yeah.
You come help me out, I'll come help you out. But a lot of people don't are not able to agree, and that's how we naturally started as humans. We was able to barter services, barter goods, but we moved away from that and be like, okay, let's agree on this paper, and say let's trade that
Yeah.
for the
I think I
service.
had texted you the picture about the girl, like the $50,000
Yeah,
and you shouldn't date. I don't I really don't care if a man has money or not because you don't only have to provide me with money. You know what I mean? But I don't care about material items either. Like the whole material perspective is another part of the programming because relationships are dying because women want so many material items. But what are you going to do if you don't have that? What are you going to do if They do bomb us, and we don't have homes. How are you going to raise your kids? How
I
are you going
think
to lead your kids? Where are you going to go and sleep in the shelter? Like, what you going to do? They're not thinking outside the
I
box.
think that that whole material thing is, people trying to feel good about themselves because they know they can't make themselves feel good
Yeah,
without it. Like that goes back to people not being shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every day I wake up, I'm trying to be a better version of myself
yeah,
without anything, without money and all this. Like, because to me, I look at all this it's like headache. Like I got this truck out here, I pay insurance, I gotta put gas in it, I gotta do. Yeah, okay, I gotta keep that up. Like
yeah,
everything that I have to be able to keep that up. You have people that hoard stuff that they just hold on to things because it feels good to them. It's like, oh, but they're literally letting go of everybody else in their life. They don't have space for their kids because their house is full of stuff. Like the
yeah.
kids don't want to be there. You know what I'm
Orders.
saying? Like
Yeah,
it's like you letting go of all these actual things that that's better for your life because you're looking at this material stuff and putting so much value on it. Everybody talking
yeah,
about high value. Oh, I know my value, I know my worth, but you really don't.
yeah.
If you feel like you know your worth and you have to go do plastic surgery or any of that stuff, it's like you don't know your worth. You don't know your value. You know what I'm
But
saying? That's not the true value in anything.
yeah, but if you're doing any of those things, once again, it's coming from your brain and what your brain is trying to make the world perceive you as. Because your brain hates itself. Because if your brain is telling you to go get your lips done, go get your back fat done, or go get a BBL, it's because your mind cannot accept how you are as self. So your mind's trying to change you, and you're unconscious because you're not forcing your brain to accept yourself.
And I think too is because everybody wants to be part of. They want to be part of. Excuse me. They want to be part of a group, but want to be individuals in a sense. Like if that
Because
makes
they're
sense. It's like
unconscious.
I want to go with the trend so I don't stand out too much. If I
Yeah.
stand out, then I'm gonna be ridiculed or be ostracized and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like they don't
But
want to stand out and be themselves. You know what I mean? If
and
I
that
got to get the BBL, so because I feel like that's what the guys want. And in actuality, yeah, it might seem good, it might be nice for a lot of these women just providing one night services for a lot of men. You can't find a husband with that. That's not going to attract no man of real value. I'm not talking about monetary value. I'm talking about real value,
but they're
like
not looking at
wisdom.
it from like a wisdom place though. They're looking at it from their mental emotions. Like any of those choices and decisions is from an emotional place. It's not from a place of grounding. It's not from a person who meditates, a person who eats healthy, or a person that's from a person who is legit living in their brain.
Yeah.
Like you have to. That's why it's only two groups in this world: unconscious or conscious. 90% of American people are unconscious. If you're going to get surgery as a woman, you're unconscious. You don't your your mind don't love itself, and you're just a listener to what your mind's telling you to do. Like if you're making any choice to go see a doctor to change your body that God gave you, one, you're telling God that what God made is not good enough and your brain don't like it. And two, you're trusting another human to change you to their image.
Yeah.
But you're no longer in God's image. And half of these females only get attention when they start changing themselves, when they start going to get lip injections, or then when they start doing things. You wasn't getting no attention before you started doing that.
But that's my thing. Is what is the attention that they say they don't want, right?
Hmm.
Is the attention that seemingly men used to go after and quote unquote rape these women,
Hmm.
right? They used to rape women that will dress a certain way. That's what be like, oh, you
It's
dress a certain
prostitute
way.
behavior. Like all of the things that women are doing today, I don't care. Black women are doing today is because they have switched it from women with morals and values to being a prostitution is the cool way. Like my mama stay in Vegas, you know what I mean? You be walking around and the things that they be wearing through the hotels and the casinos, y'all look like y'all don't realize that y'all look like the prostitutes who sell themselves. But
Yeah.
these days, oh well, that's cool. Why am I seeing your breast with pasties? Why do I need to see that? Are you selling yourself? Well, no, I love myself. Well, if you love yourself, you'll be covered up. I'm just being honest.
They be like, it's a form of self-expression.
No, it's not. Self hate.
It is in a sense. You're expressing yourself to be a hoe in a
Yeah,
sense. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Self hate though.
it's a lot of times, we use, and we love to do this in the black community. We use words that mean a specific thing
And
for
manipulate.
something else.
Yeah.
Bad bitch. It's a certain, like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, like bad means not good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bad means rotten. It's not good. Like, it's,
Yeah.
why would I want something that's bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, you really saying one thing but trying to manipulate it into something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where we get a lot of that stuff from. We try to change the words and, you know, try to make,
The
you know,
negative things good and
yeah, it's
yeah.
like, man, we didn't just use the word for what it is. If we
Yeah.
use the word for what it is, then we ain't gotta do all of that. And then I have to trick my brain and tell my brain, oh no, bad beach means she just look good. No, that's stupid.
No.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
I just the thing that women do is just like these days, if you have morals and values, then you're boring. But I'm okay being boring because I'm not going to sell myself out because I know when you go to sleep at night, you're really not happy with yourself. I don't care. I don't care what nobody got to say. You're not
yeah,
happy that you went and had to go and get your butt done. Now you're laying on rocks. That's just what it is.
yeah,
It's just weird.
it's very weird. That's
Especially
a
when these mothers are outliving their boys. Like your kid's legit dying in the street because you wanted your son to take care of you when you're the mother and you're going to get surgery. You're trying to buy Gucci and Louis. But what is that all doing for the production of your family? You know what
yeah,
I mean? Which is why women need men.
a lot of the turmoil and shit that we go through, even from the 80s and 90s, and I mean, it's because, you know, black men wanted to go the extra mile to have Jordans, or,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Just shit that don't really matter. You over
Yeah,
here risking your life, you're risking your freedom, to sell cocaine or to sell dope and stuff like that, right? To be able to get those things, just to be able to get killed a couple years later or get
yeah.
arrested. Now you don't have none of that. You guys, you wearing what they give you to wear in the jail.
But that goes back to the emotional pleasing. Like nobody's connected to their spirituality. Nobody's connected to their truth. Like you're trying to please your mind because your mind's not happy with the
Are they
outside.
trying to please their mind, or are they trying to please the outside world? So you
So
don't, like I say, you don't stand out, you don't get clowned, you
yeah.
don't get ridiculed.
So your mind wants to please the outside. But if you were conscious, your mind would want to please you because you're leading it. But the
Hmm.
world is leading your mind. So it wants to please the outside. It wants to make you happy, which goes back to pleasing the emotion. Because the only way for you to please the outside is to please your emotion, which is a reflection of the outside.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So they want them shoes to please the emotion because the emotion will look happier to the people on the outside.
gotcha.
It's like a whole mental battle. It's like it's mentally disturbed.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you're going to buy Jordans to make yourself feel better so you can look better to them.
yeah,
That's dumb. Why don't you just wear the shoes you want and you'll be happy on the inside? You'll be more peaceful, but you're okay with the turmoil that's inside because your mind will be happy with what they're saying about you.
man. I've never owned a pair of Jordans.
Really?
Never.
When I grew
I
up, I
used to buy
did.
Shaq, like Payless, and I used to come up here
I
to
do not for
Samoa.
my kid. First of all, I'm not gonna be spending $200, and my boy, he's huge, so he'll ruin shoot in less than 2.45 seconds. But I want
I was
him
the
to be
same.
emotionally stable within himself and confident within himself. So if he do choose to do that when he gets older, it's not coming from a place of emotional imbalance.
Yeah,
Like he'll be comfortable doing whatever he wants.
yeah. That's a good way to be, because I always had a sense of comfort in being myself.
Hmm.
And, yeah, I might have insecurities on the inside, but I never
Yeah,
went outside of myself to do anything to be able to get it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, and people always used to be like, I used to have friends that would, have the Jordans and have that. I always used to hang around them,
yeah,
but they'll always be like, man, you just so calm and collected. You just, I'm like, yeah, I don't,
yeah,
like, your opinion of me don't really matter. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, it don't matter. The way I look at myself means more to me than how you look at me. Because I
Hmm.
gotta live with myself 24/7. You know what I'm saying? I might hang out with you for an hour, go over here, hang out with this other person. You know, I have to live with myself 24/7. And people don't realize, like, yeah, you have to be with yourself 24/7.
Yeah.
No matter what your woman think, your man think, it don't matter. None of that shit matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife's opinion of me, yeah, it matters to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, she wants to go and leave. I'm not here to stop her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because I gotta still live with me till the day I'm in 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are just not aware of that. They're trying to please everybody and say they're not pleasing everybody. Say they, oh, I'm being myself. No, you're not. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, you're not being yourself.
Well, because if you was being yourself when you went home and you took all that stuff off, you'll be comfortable in that same person when you walked outside, but you're
Yeah,
not. Because women spend hours on hours putting on wigs, doing makeup before they can even walk outside. Because why? When you walk outside in your natural skin, your mind is making you feel negative. You're feeling like, I don't look right. So you're not happy with yourself. You went and got surgery because you cannot stand how you look in your clothes when you're outside.
I call it the clown suit. You
Yeah,
putting on a clown suit to go be a clown in the rest of society. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, let me blend in so I don't look like I'm not part of the circus.
Yeah, before your brain can feel comfortable going outside, it said I have to put on my suit. I have to put on this outer shell, which is not me, because when I go home, I gotta take it all off. But let me put on this suit before I can even walk out my door.
Yeah, because to me, clowns wear a lot of makeup, man. A lot of I've seen.
Mhm.
I grew up. I was like, man, girls wearing makeup. They'll have all kinds of colors on their face. You might think you look good,
But you don't.
but you don't. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, and yeah, men have tricked their mind to think that that's what looks good, but
Even men are
as a
getting plastic
man,
surgery.
what that's blowing my mind. Don't even. I've
Yeah.
seen the wigs and the dudes getting bald like me. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this is what I wish I had hair. Don't get me wrong. I wish I had hair, but God, my father always said, grass don't grow on busy streets.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do you keep saying that? Until I started losing my hair, and I'm like, yeah, I probably got a lot of shit going on up
And you're
here.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, it just ain't got no time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nobody is able, nobody is nobody's brain is comfortable with itself. Like it's just everybody's brain hates itself. Everybody's brain wants to look like everybody. Like everybody looks like the exact same person.
because you see other people a lot of times you don't see yourself.
Yeah, because
You
your
only
brain's
see
looking
yourself
out.
when you look in the mirror or you're taking a selfie, which
Some people came and looking at. They came and tell you what their own face look like.
true.
And growing up, my grandfather used to say, if you can't see yourself without a mirror, then you don't know yourself. And I never understood what that meant. But now I understand it's like if you can't like right now, I know what my face look like, and I'm not even looking at myself. That's because my brain is clear.
Yeah.
My brain knows my reflection. But if you can't see yourself, your brain knows the world more than it knows itself. That's all that it is.
And you really have to look into somebody's eyes to be able to see yourself.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't even make eye contact.
Yeah.
That makes them feel way uncomfortable.
I
It's
used
like,
to
boy,
hate eye contact. I used to hate it so bad. But it's like, okay, but once my brain starts getting clear, once I
yeah,
start to listen to her as a separate person, like, okay, now I'm cool. Like now, like I'm cool.
yeah.
But before it would burn my brain because there was so much going on within my own brain that makes me want to think about it, make me want to release it. And I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah. That's why people go out there and get drunk. They ain't gotta
Yeah.
think too much. You be like, hey, just say whatever. And
Yeah.
you know, they say what the drunk thoughts what is
Always
that?
the truth. I don't drink. I never drink
Oh, for
before.
real?
Never had a drink. I don't like how if I can't be myself, then I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
That's good, man. Applause to that. Applause to
Thank you,
that
thank you.
because you find a lot of people that they need it. You know,
I
just
can't
like
drink.
I feel like I needed the weed for a long time.
I used to smoke, but I had to smoke stop that too 'cause I started feeling like a drug addict. I don't anything that makes me feel not like myself, I can't do
Yeah, I used to be like, I didn't know why I'm addicted to it till
it.
I
Mhm.
till I started getting off of it, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
there's some
addicted.
issues.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like you let go of something, you realize, man, I didn't really need that. You know,
Yeah.
where it may have made me able to tap into my mind, I could naturally tap into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I needed it to just open that part of my brain to be like, oh, you could go there. You could make yourself feel good,
Yeah.
but you don't need it as a
You don't
crutch. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, So
But most people are just using it as a crutch though, because they don't want to allow everything to come up. They're trying to push it down, which
yeah,
is why you're unhappy because you're
it's
pushing
like
down.
having legs and you might have an injury. You use your crutches for a while or a wheelchair for a while,
You get
and
used to it.
you get used to it. You don't even want to walk no more.
Yeah.
I don't even want to use my legs no
Yeah.
more. We're gonna pivot a little bit. How do you balance the pursuit of your goals with the need for mindfulness and living in the present moment? Like, how do you balance that?
So for me personally, my goals is my peace. You know what I mean? So like when you're living within your peace, your goals just become natural. Like
Yeah,
they just pop out at you. It's like you're driving down a road and you have like a an exit. It just pops up whenever it needs to pop up, like the new goal. Like you don't have when when you're living in alignment, you don't have to make anything happen. It just pops up on your road and then you start taking that exit and then you
yeah,
just go along. Like with God, you don't have to make anything happen. Now, if you're doing it from your brain's gonna have to force it, try to figure it out. I don't got time for that. Now I just let them pop up. If I
yeah.
ain't got no goal right now, I ain't got no goal. I'm just supposed to just go with the flow.
Kind of like this podcast episode is like I reached out to you. It was like I seen you liking my stuff. I
Yeah,
liking your stuff. I was like, hey, let's maybe collab one day.
yeah,
We didn't force anything.
yeah,
He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be in Atlanta." I was like, "Oh, yeah." I didn't have none of this. I created this just off the strength of like, maybe this is the time to pivot into
yeah,
something else. You know what I'm saying? And create the stuff that I've been wanting to create for a while, but just didn't have the inspiration or the motivation behind it. Like maybe that's not time. Let me
yeah.
work my way to that.
Yeah, because everything's energy. So when the energy's in the right spot, it's gonna manifest on its own. You don't have to that's why you don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
You really don't have to put in no effort in anything. Because when you know supposed to do it, you'll just naturally do it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? That's why I said even with the questions, I really don't have questions. Whatever it happens, it happens. Like with manifestation and energy, it just pops up on you.
yeah,
Like all of the questions are just naturally flowing because it's just the next question or it
yeah,
just pops in your head. I believe in energy. That's why I said I have to have a relationship with God now. I don't have religion. I just have a relationship because you don't have to force it. It
yeah.
will energy will manifest it in the spare the moment.
I agree. I agree. I'm a big proponent of energy. The energy don't feel right. It's
Mm-mm.
just like, I do outside of this, I do work for people homes. Like I paint homes. Like I
Okay.
painted this wall. Um, so if I walk into somebody's home and it don't feel right in there,
Yeah.
I don't care how much the job I'm gonna make. I don't, it's just like
Yeah.
and then I could always feel when it's a challenge for me. Like when I feel like it's not an energy thing, it's like, oh, I'm getting to the next level.
That's why I
So
said earlier, like when I'm watching a video and it makes me feel like, well, dang, I don't like it. It's like, okay, wait, that means it's time for me to learn something. It's time
yeah,
for me to grow past what I'm already feeling.
yeah,
'Cause your mind will try to stop you. Well, not really stop you, like, 'cause your mind was created to protect you from things, you know what
yeah,
I mean? But you have to recognize when it's a challenge and not like the actual protection
yeah,
type of moment, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So, yeah, I get that, yeah.
'Cause I would. There was a couple times where I'd have been like, man, this job too big for me. You know what I mean?
But
Like
you can do
I have
it.
the cards, I could play them. It's like, do I want to risk it? Do I want to, And without no risk, there's no reward. So
Yeah,
that's
cause
just
people always come to me about podcasts, but, like, "Yeah, I don't like y'all energy."
yeah,
Which is why I say I'm not gonna say I can't become, like, wealthy, but I would limit myself on the wealth because I don't just do anything for money, you know what I mean? Your energy has to be right. The moment that you say one thing wrong, I'm sorry, keep
yeah.
your money.
I'm kind of on that Andre 3000 type of wave.
Yes.
Like I don't want to just do it just because y'all want me to do
Mm-mm.
it.
You can
I'll do
have
it because
it.
I want to do it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So yeah, I feel you. Like it has to be everything has to align for me to be able to just do it.
Yeah.
This is something I've been talking about for years. I want to create it with other people, and they're just like, they don't have that same thing behind it. So I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't do it by myself. Maybe I'll just
Yeah.
wait. Maybe I'll just and then, you know, I started doing the videos because I had a daughter on the way. And I was
Yeah.
like, if something happens to me today or tomorrow, I want to at least leave a blueprint for her.
Yeah, something.
You know, yeah, I put it out there to the world, but it's for really for her. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So she could say, "Oh, I could listen to my father." Like Have something out there.
Yeah. Like, but that goes back to like our family starting and building better family. Like for my son, like I'm really doing this to create a foundation of his spirituality, and then he could create a business from this, or he
Yeah,
can, have his own way of life. So he'll have a guidance book or like a reference book
yeah,
on how to live balanced and how to live peacefully.
yeah,
Like, 'cause anything could happen now. Like he wants to start his channel, so we're gonna start that.
yeah,
So it's like you have to start doing things, but you have to trust the timing of your energy. Because when it feels pressured, that's not God.
yeah,
You have to wait. If it's not calm and peaceful, it don't naturally happen, that's not God.
yeah.
It's not energy.
True.
Mm-mm.
All right. So, in your journey of life,
Yeah.
what has been the most challenging belief or mindset to overcome, and how do
Um, the way of like the world on who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be in America, type of person you're supposed to be, like the deprogramming. Like I said, it makes you feel like you're a demon if you're going against what you've been taught.
you? Yeah,
I mean, like being able to disconnect from your brain and becoming aware is like one of the most difficult things ever because when you're going through that process, it's like your brain legit hates you. It tells you, well, no, you're doing this wrong. You're being disrespectful to your parents. You're being disrespectful to the upbringing. You're being disrespectful to the past. But you also know I'm not physically doing nothing wrong. God
yeah,
is clearly leading me because I have a relationship with you. I know we talk every day. You're clearly leading me. So why am I going to listen to the church or them over what you're telling me just because I can't physically see you? You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's that. It's like you have to choose a side when it
yeah.
comes to God. You really got, and I chose God. Now, the world might hate me, but I know within myself I'm at peace. I know I'm not an evil person. I might look like a demon to other people, but how y'all view me is not me. It's just from your perspective. I know God's happy with me. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm getting blessed.
It's funny you said demon because a lot of people say demon. They're on demon time,
Yeah.
and
Mm-mm.
that's just when
They be
they
playing
say
with
that, I'm
you.
like, woo. Demon. Now I've been guilty to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you out with your friend, you're like, man, we on demon time. You looking for
Yeah.
girls, you doing whatever. Like, yeah, that's the wave. You know what I'm saying? So it naturally comes out when you're in that mode, when you're smoking, you're drinking and stuff.
Hmm.
But it's like naturally, I'm not in that space. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm sober and stuff, I'm not in that space. Like it's
But
only
that's
when I
why I had to
have,
stop smoking too, because I had to start recognize, okay, I really like when I say me and guys like this, me and guys like this. When I'm smoking, I feel a little bit different.
yeah,
So what energy am I truly in? Yes, God made it. Yes, God created the plant, but we're not using it in the way that God like we're burning
intended,
it.
yeah,
We're break, you know what I mean? So we're doing things that's not truly in alignment. And I did not like how I felt when I was smoking. I felt like yes, I could still talk to God and still feel normal, but I still felt disconnected. I just
yeah,
felt like I wasn't in true alignment. I feel like I was still wavering the fence. No, I want to be truly in alignment with the creator. I want to be truthful. And smoking is not that. Like you talk different when you smoking, you listening to music, all the other stuff. It pushes you in a different vibe.
it
Like the
is.
vibe is
I've actually
cool.
I've actually stopped listening to a lot of music since I
Hmm.
stopped smoking. Like I used to, that used to be like a ritual, like you say, like you get in the car, you turn the music on, you
Yes.
listen
And
to all
just
that, you
vibe.
just vibing, like
I love me some young boy. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But over time I said, okay, God, I can't. It's too dark. Now Free Soul, that's my guy.
yeah,
I listen to his music all day, every day, or whatever comes on his channel. But Free Soul is my guy now. But everybody else,
yeah,
I can't. It just it's the wrong energy for me.
yeah,
And energy is my life. If it don't fit my energy, I'm not coming. I
yeah,
don't care how much money you pay me. I don't care who's gonna be there. Like even being here in Atlanta. I don't want to be around the rich people. I just like that's the wrong energy.
yeah,
I don't want to be over there. I'd rather be in like the regular towns, drive. You know what I mean? Energy is everything.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. We gonna get into the speed round of questions, the this or
Cool.
that segment. I got 10 questions for you. You just pick one. You can
Okay.
elaborate a little bit if you want, but yeah, we're gonna get into it. So, discipline over flexibility.
Discipline,
Okay. Constant happiness or constant growth.
constant growth. Happiness is not necessary. It's not necessary.
I agree.
You should always be growing. You should always be developing because you can be happy and smoking, but it's not helping you go nowhere. It's not helping you push forward. You know what I mean? You could be happy in a toxic relationship, but you're unhappy at the same time.
Yeah.
Like when you're always growing, you're always moving. So you can't stick to darkness too long.
Yeah, I agree. Happiness for me is it's an emotion. You feel it sometimes, you
Yeah.
feel it, you don't feel it other times.
Just like love. I was gonna ask you that, but love is a choice. Like love, like that love thing.
Yeah,
I might not love you all the time. You know what I mean? But my discipline in our relationship is gonna keep us
yeah,
together. Like love is a emotion. I might
yeah,
love you today, but tomorrow you might irritate me. I don't love you.
yeah,
I'm just being honest.
yeah, yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact. But I think once you constantly growing, it's gonna leave room for happiness naturally.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
More happiness
saying?
to come in
Yeah.
and have more moments of happiness.
Because once you in that dark period of growth where you're like, man, I'm trying to figure it out, and then you figure it out, boom, the happiness comes. Then you
Hmm.
go back again, try to grow out of something else, and you be like, oh, how do I figure that path out? And then you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I agree with that. I agree
Yeah.
with that. Self reflection or external inspiration.
Self-reflection.
Okay. Spontaneous or strategic.
Spontaneous.
Gotcha. Financial freedom or creative freedom.
Creative freedom.
Innovation or tradition.
Innovation. God is innovation. God don't create tradition at all.
Yeah.
Tradition is more man-made, it's more mental
Yeah.
of keeping your brain on the same path. It don't want to change. It don't want to grow. It don't want to see nothing new come into your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same mental programming.
Got you. Got you. Legacy or currency.
Legacy
Inner peace or social influence.
and peace.
I already know.
Mhm.
I already
Yeah.
know half of your answers. You based on what you said
Yeah.
earlier. All right. Global impact or community influence.
Community influence because community influence can like it can rain out to like global impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you build up your community, it's naturally going to flow out to the rest of
Yeah.
the world over time
Yeah.
if people don't try to prevent it.
Got you. Got you. Last one: personal achievement or shared victories.
Um, Personal victory because your personal victory will show other people that they can be victorious too, and then it will naturally flow out. Also, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you do things for you and yourself, and it's good, it will naturally flow out. 'Cause other people will see the rewards from it and want to
See,
do it too
that's a good way of looking at it. Because I was gonna say shared victory. You know what I mean? But you have to work on the personal side to
before you can
be able
even
to.
share it.
Yeah.
So
You're right.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I'm just more grounded. Like I meditate twice a day. So
That's
it's
what I need to get better at doing. Meditate.
yeah. See, people make meditation mentally straining when it's not difficult. All
Yeah.
you're doing is sitting there and letting your brain go through whatever it's going through. So when I meditate, like when I realize that my brain is going off, I just refocus on my breathing or whatever action. Because there's different meditation, but you just refocus it when you realize that your brain is going off stream.
Yeah.
You don't try to control your brain. You just let it be, but you try to control the alignment of it. That makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Yeah. For me, I tend to meditate when I'm doing something that doesn't require a lot of brain. Like
Mhm.
when I'm painting or when
Yeah.
I'm cleaning or something. That's like full meditation mode. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about the past. I'm reflecting. I'm doing this. My
Yeah.
brain is just it's in full. I don't want to say working mode, but it's just like widening the lens of the
Yeah.
everything. It's like not solar focused, but just like
If
I
I
can
were
see the whole
you,
picture.
I would include my breathing in it. So like when you're zoned out,
Mm,
also recognize your breathing. And then once you realize your brain's going off track, just realign it. And it'll over time, it'll start to just get aligned. I
gotcha.
meditate a lot to get to where
That's
I am. I ain't
good.
got no choice. I don't wanna I've always wanted more what our people got.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
Come on, Tatiana.